Hey everybody, it's episode 406 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. I am Chris. With me is Druten.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Hello.
Sorry, I was thrown off a little there. I accidentally minimized the outline and was trying to remember the numbers off the top of my head.
No problem.
Good job.
Man, it's been a day. Poor Ben is downstairs just fucking drugged out of his mind.
Oh, you say poor Ben, I say lucky.
No, like he can't get up on the sofa. He had trouble just going up the one step into the door. He couldn't get in and out of the car on his own. At one point, he was standing in the living room and he wanted to come up on the sofa and he couldn't. And he was just standing there and he was kind of like lifting his head back, like looking, and he just kind of fell backwards, like his back legs just like buckled underneath of him.
Oh, bud.
Yeah, and then like the whole car ride home, he was just kind of like half sit, half laying against the back seat, like with his eyes closed. Like he is doped up on anesthetic right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he had to have 3 teeth surgically removed.
Oof.
Yeah, poor boy. Between him liking to chew on stuff and the people that had him before, like they didn't like mistreat him, but like they just didn't take care of that stuff. That's why like his nails are super long and his teeth weren't in the best of shape because like they never had that stuff done. So like even though we get his teeth brushed and his nails trimmed every time he goes to the groomer, like we're just kind of like stopping them from getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's stuck downstairs right now. He's on an all like soft food diet. So I don't know, Rich, I don't know if you've ever looked because you've had dogs, like not canned food, but like the like refrigerated like soft food, like the like
stuff's expensive.
Like holy fuck expensive.
Yeah, I mean even canned food nowadays is expensive.
I mean it is, but like a 5-pound bag of that soft food, let's call it, like the cold stuff, $40 fucking, and you're supposed to give them 4 cups of it a day.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
Or at least
a lot
based on Ben's size. Like how much does Chase weigh?
He's around 100.
So he would need more like 8 cups a day.
Jeez.
Yeah, like it's completely like there's no way a human can afford that unless they are rich or have a much smaller dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a little dog, it's like almost nothing.
I mean, that's when like you try to do some sort of homemade soft food firm or something like that.
Yeah, that's what. That's a lady that used to be our point of contact at one of my clients. She had cats, and she did that. Like she made her own cat food. Like she would call up local butchers and get a bunch of like meat scraps and like grind up her own cat food.
When Frankie got sick with bloat, I started only doing chicken and rice, or not chicken, turkey, like ground turkey and rice, or ground chicken and rice, or not ground, pulled chicken and rice. And so I would boil the chicken, boil the rice, and that would be his lunch and dinners for until we put him down. And that even got expensive from time.
Yeah, that's what. Luckily, she hasn't actually since we've gotten Ben, she hasn't had any problems. Sorry about that. When Kaylee, whenever she would have like diarrhea or something like that, and it would be more than just like a once and done. That's what we would do, the same thing. She would get like a couple days of chicken and rice to kind of like bind everything back together. And like, I'd just go over to the shop, right, and buy like the big family pack of chicken and some of like the boil and bag rice and just make a bunch of it and like cut and shred it all up and then put it in like a Tupperware thing and just give that to her for like the week. But like, you're right, like it gets expensive, but like it's not quite as bad as like the bags of food we buy them are like $60 for like a 30-pound bag, I think.
Yeah.
So like that cost isn't like too far off, but like this like all natural, like it's not raw, but like I don't know how else to describe it. Like that shit's outrageously expensive.
Stop it, buddy.
Oh,
Chase is mad about the price of Benny's food.
Yeah, dude. I looked at like a while back. I kept seeing those commercials for that farm fresh food or whatever it's called. The one where the commercials, the guy's just like, and they've had such healthy poops. I went onto their site and they don't just give you a price. You have to like take a little quiz. And I did that once and it was going to be hundreds of dollars a week for that sort of food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, what sort of people can afford this? Because I sure as fuck can't.
Yeah. People go crazy for their pets.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love my dogs. I feed them the best food I can, but like I don't spend that much on food for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, goddamn.
I'm generally at most $50 a week for myself, at most. And actually, this past weekend, I went food shopping and I got out of there under $60, and that's for a 2-week span. So, yeah.
We usually spend between $80 and $100 a week on groceries.
I go food shopping every other weekend, so I average about $100 or $100 every other week.
Drew, how much do you and Sarah spend on groceries? Like it's two of you also.
Yeah, probably like 100, 120 every other week.
Man,
kind of depends what we're getting though.
Yeah, and it also, like, Cobb, you have to do both vegetarian meats and regular meat, so it's going to be a little bit more for you guys, opposed to Drew and Sarah and me.
Yeah, and, like, Erica also uses, like, almond milk in her coffee, which is more expensive than regular milk. And, yeah, a lot of those, like we buy, like, the Beyond Beef and, like, tofu a lot, because it's something that, like, we'll both eat, rather than me having to try and, like, time chicken and fake chicken, and then, like, something else at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, some of that stuff does actually add up a lot more than just, like, if we're just buying a bunch of chicken.
Yeah.
Like,
chicken, it goes the range from either really cheap or really expensive. Like, chicken thighs, relatively cheap. Chicken breast, like boneless, skinless chicken breast, fucking expensive.
And, like, that's all I buy. Like, I just buy, like, the family size pack from Wegmans of the boneless, skinless.
Yeah. I mean, that usually gets me through about a week, if I get the boneless, skinless.
Oh, see, that lasts me multiple weeks.
Actually, no. If I were to get the boneless, skinless, it would probably get me through 2 weeks if I plan it properly, but it depends. But anyway.
Rich, what's on the agenda?
On the agenda. So we're going to be talking about some Disney Plus news. Then we got our book club, where we watched The Raid 2. Cobb, you started playing 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. I actually did, finally, after about 90 hours, beat Elden Ring. But first, there's something left out that I want to talk to you guys about.
Oh,
you guys
wow.
know
Drew, he remembered.
That's the only thing that was on my mind the past, like, you could have been saying whatever you wanted to be. It would have mostly been yes and. But you guys heard of this game, Dead by Daylight, right?
Yes.
Cobb, you might think it's a little interesting and neat. I'm not saying you would like it, but it's an asymmetric multiplayer where one person plays as, basically a horror movie monster of some sort.
Oh, I'm familiar with the game. I know what it is. I've just never played it.
I'm explaining for the listeners who might not know. I mean, it's a big game, but so it's 4 people trying to escape a monster. And so they've had recent updates. They did a Resident Evil update. They're actually going to be doing another one with an Attack on Titan update. The Rain Girl, what's her name?
Samara?
From the Japanese Ring. I don't think it's Samara, but whatever her name is from the Japanese version. She's in it. I think Pyramid Head is in it. There's a bunch of different other, like, hard monster things in this. It's a really fun, dark game. It could be very exciting. It could be very creepy. But they also recently announced a new... It's a spin-off. I thought it was an update. It's a spin-off. But it's still, they announced a spin-off to this. It's called Hooked on You. So it's called, in Dead by Daylight, when the monster catches you, they put you on a hook, and then the other survivors have to come get you off the hook. In Hooked on You, you're trying to figure out which one of the villains you want to date.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a spin-off of it?
It's a spin-off. It's from the same people who made Dead by Daylight. It's a spin-off called Dead by Daylight Hooked on You. It's, from what I'm reading online, I just did a few quick researches, like, it's kind of like similar to, like, Dungeon Boyfriend, I think, or something like that. But I don't really know a lot. Boyfriend Dungeon. Its overall atmosphere seems to match that of Boyfriend Dungeon, according to Game Rant. But they even made up, like, gave all of the villains a glow up, and where, like, the guys are looking like super buff, awesome guys, and the girls are looking like super pretty but still evil looking girls and shit like that. It's the dumbest, most ridiculous thing ever that I love that they're doing, and you gotta go check out their trailer for it. It's on YouTube. It's not long, but it's just, yeah, I wanted to. You didn't add that on there. We needed to talk about the fact that there's now a horror dating sim. Yeah,
honestly, I hadn't even seen anything about this. I owned Dead by Daylight because it was a PS Plus game years ago. but like I've never played it. Like it was just never like of interest to me. I honestly used to get it confused with Dead Island, like trying to keep track of which was which.
I would always get Dead by Daylight and what was that horror one?
Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball.
No.
Yes, that one.
No. The horror one, the horror where it's like it's the horror story, and they're in the mountains.
Oh, that has kind of spun off into a series.
Yeah.
The QuickTime event game. Fuck, what the hell was that game called?
I can't remember. I think it's getting the new one with what's his name? I know that speaks volumes.
Are you thinking of Alan Wake?
No.
No, it's a PlayStation exclusive.
Oh,
It had like a bunch of real actors.
Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Until Dawn, yeah.
It's a very good game.
I've heard it's very good, and they're coming out with a sequel to Until Dawn that stars. Is it the guy who played Shaggy? No, it's not the guy who played Shaggy. It's David Arquette that actually stars in that.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't believe it's a sequel.
It's a prequel. It's a prequel.
Is it actually supposed to be like a direct thing? Because so that company, Supermassive Games, they're the ones that did the Dark Pictures anthology too.
Mm-hmm.
And the Quarry is the new one.
Yeah.
Until Dawn's a good game though.
I think I heard that it's supposed to be like a prequel. The Quarry is
It's a spiritual successor to Until Dawn.
Yeah.
It's got like a similar. It's not going to be that weird. I liked the Dark Pictures anthology stuff, but it had like that weird like bookend thing where like all these stories were being narrated, whereas this one looks like it's going to be more just like its own standalone thing. But it does have like you're right. David Arquette's in it. Lance Henriksen.
I only really know David Arquette. I didn't really look at the rest of the cast.
Ethan Suplee. I don't know anybody else.
Yeah. But yeah, Dead by Daylight. Getting a dating sim. You gonna get a cop?
Ariel Winter. She was on fucking Modern
Oh,
Family.
right. She's the middle daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm probably not going to get that.
But you love those games.
Do I?
You do. You talk about dating sims all the time.
Do I?
I'm actually gonna get it. Just because I'm gonna try to do a bunch of horror stuff for Halloween for winter for stream. So I'm gonna tell people that I'm playing. I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna tell people I'm playing Dead by Daylight, and then it'll probably be like mid month, just so like they don't think that I'm pulling so that they don't suspect it, and just be like, yeah, I'm playing Dead by Daylight tonight, guys, come check us out, and it's gonna be hooked on you. I'm gonna get it just for that.
But you're afraid of playing these games by yourself at night. You have told us this multiple times.
No. But I'm also talking about hooked on you. I'm not actually talking about.
No, but you just said you're going to play horror games throughout the month of October.
Oh, I'm gonna try it. Primarily, I'm thinking of trying to get access to all of the Resident Evils and play each of them, which should take about 1 or 2 sessions each. And then I want to look into some others. Maybe get people to play GTFO or maybe Alien Isolation.
Is that other one that's people are
Phasmo? A lot of people love Phasmo. Again, I need to get people to watch that or to play that with. So yeah,
there's also Until Dawn.
There's definitely Until Dawn. I'd have to hook up my PS5 to my PC to do that.
Yeah, but
fucking Elgato, man.
Yeah, you're gonna get that.
Use that $100 instead of getting graphics. Just get an Elgato.
I need emotes and shit. I don't really need graphics. I just need emotes right now.
Like, do they matter that much? I
mean, a person who's subscribing to my channel doesn't get anything for it except for 2 emotes. So
and the sense of helping you grow.
Yeah, Cobb and Drew, the sense of helping me grow.
I retweet your shit every time I say it. I realized last week I retweeted one the day after, but I still retweeted it.
Did you? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, actually, it was worse than that. I saw it, retweeted the tweet above it because it was one of those so I had seen your tweet go out, like I had seen your tweet on Twitter, but it was one of those things where like Twitter like reloaded my feed like as I saw it. So I'm like, oh, you tweeted out. So I just went to your profile and went to retweet it, but it was the one from the day before. You hadn't tweeted one for that day yet. And I tweeted the tweet above it, not that one, because it was just like I did it very quickly, like I wasn't paying total attention to it.
Wow.
But look, I went out of my way to go to your Twitter profile to retweet something.
that's a little bit of effort, I guess.
That is more effort than I would normally put into things.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I
know. But I don't know. Like that was a legit question. Like, do people really care about emotes? Because like I don't. Like I never. Like I don't talk in chats though either. So I guess like I am not the use case for them.
I mean, people don't really care about emotes, no, but it's still like it's one of the perks of subscribing is getting subscriber emotes. And I might be at my 60 days to where I can have non-subscriber emotes as well. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, I try to incentivize subbing by giving free crates whenever I have Dixper or the emotes. But right, like that's all subbing does for you right now is gets you ad free and gets you emote and gets you 2 emotes.
Well, that ad free for me, the ad free means more than emotes. Like,
yeah, that's I was about to say, like, that is the reason, like, the Twitches that I do give my Prime to are the ones that I think I'm going to watch over the course of a month, because I fucking hate Twitch ads. Because every once in a while, like, I'll have a stream up, and, like, I'll have to, like, close the tab, or reload it, or, like, reload it on my phone, and if you're not subscribed, you have to watch the fucking ad all over again, and it's the fucking worst. But I was gonna say, like, can't you always link it up with, like, Discord and make that a perk also?
Yeah, I could add, and I'm working on making making my Discord channel into my public streaming Discord channel. But, like, I could link it to that, and there would be, like, a tier-based, like, if you're a tier 1 subscriber, you get your own specific chat. If you're tier 2, you can get the tier 1 and 2. Tier 3, you can get them all, but just separating possible chats when I'm still small doesn't really make sense.
No, but you give people server roles instead of like specific chats.
Well, yeah. Like if you would become a different member type or role, yeah, absolutely. But like again, that's an arbitrary thing that doesn't really matter because when you go into Discord, you're not looking to see what everyone is.
But if you're getting access to the Discord, that is still a perk because it's not publicly available like that.
Well, my Discord is going to be publicly available. Hoping I haven't really done a lot to set it up, but hoping by the end of July. I wanted to have it set up before my 1-year anniversary, but I'm going to try. End of July. End of June. I want to have it done by the end of June.
And just to just kind of follow up on what Drew said before too. As somebody who like occasionally watches streams, I personally would much rather see you get equipment to stream more variety of things.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Shitty little artwork that like you really can't see. And I apologize, like it's not necessarily shitty, like I'm sure like you're gonna pay somebody that knows how to do art. But like emotes are very small, they're hard to really make out generally, and all they do is kind of clutter chat. Versus like if you got an Elgato where you could then stream from your Switch better or from your PS5, that opens up a larger variety of things you can stream.
I mean that is absolutely true. To have the better streaming capabilities. But at the moment, especially with my future plans of what I'm going to be playing and what I want to play, maybe I'll be on the Switch sometimes. Like there's not, and I'm not saying I'm not going to be playing on the consoles, but a lot of what I want to play, a lot of what I'm planning on playing is all PC anyway. So for me to spend the money right now to get the Elgato when I'm not going to use it, rather than spend the money to get the emotes that I've been trying to get for the past 4 months, or get new graphics for opening, closing, and walking, like coming, be right back scenes and whatnot. Like it's that shows, having that artwork and having those things shows that I'm actually putting an effort in, whereas like getting an Elgato doesn't necessarily show, because it's, at least right now, because I'm not going to be using it.
I mean, look, and that's totally fair. And like honestly, like do what makes sense for you. I would say put the money, if you're going to put money into imagery, put it into, like you said, like your like bumpers and like on stream layout stuff. Like worry about the emotes last. Like they're only really a thing for people when you have like a big chat. So like make your stream look good and professional, and then worry about the little things like that. Because like right now, like you're averaging what like half a dozen to a dozen viewers at a time.
Yeah, about that.
So, like you're small. Like, people aren't necessarily going to mind if, like, you don't have 12 different emotes they can spam your chat with. But you will potentially get more people to stick around if your stream setup just looks more professional. So, like you know, like the layout graphics and notification things and the starting soon, leaving, like, be right back bumper stuff. Like, I think that's definitely the better place for you to invest that money than emotes. Like, I would say, like, that stuff, like, streaming, like, physical hardware equipment and then emotes would be, like, way down at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I need it all. Like, there's not, in my opinion, like, there's not number one for everyone. There's not a number one that I need right now. Like, what I've got, what I'm using right now works. It works fine. I could get a better bumpers. I could get a better capture card. I could get emotes. Like, they're all something that'll show that I'm putting in the time and the effort to get this stuff done. It's just like, I don't know. I've had these emotes. I haven't reached out to my artist in a while, but I've had these emotes. Like, I've talked with her a few times about, like, hey, here's what I want and whatnot. And I haven't gotten them, mostly because I haven't reached out to her. She was really busy when I first asked. So, and
at least you are, what's the word I'm trying to think of? You're not a big enough douche. That's not the right word, but it's the best one I can come up with to expect somebody to do that stuff for free.
No, I would never. Like, when I reached out to Shannon, and I reached out to another friend, and I was like, hey, here's what I was hoping for. I was wondering if you could price that, let me know what you're thinking. Like, me and Shannon didn't really talk much about it because she had a lot going on as well. And my other artist, we talked about it. I gave her the ideas that I wanted. And then she reached out to me like a month or two later, month and a half later, asking if I was still interested. And I said yes. And she's like, well, I've been still super busy with cons and everything else, but I'll get to it as soon as I can. So I need to reach out to her.
Yeah, I just know from, like, comic Twitter and, like, some of the artists and stuff I know that people just have, like, these, like, outrageous expectations. They'll reach out to artists and, like, ask for work done. And when they hear, like, oh yeah, it'll be this much money, they're just like, oh, well, you should just be happy that I'm looking to publicize your work. Like,
yeah, there are a lot of shitty people out there like that don't do that stuff, or that, like, try that stuff, try that whole, like, hey, exposure. Like, when Shannon made the Brose artwork, I felt bad that I was like, look, we don't have anything to give you. We don't have any money or anything. She's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. I'm like, but, like, as shitty as it sounds, and also when she designed this wasn't like her side gig. Like, this was just her doing it for friends. I was like, I'll shout out your photography page at the end of every episode or something. She's like, no, don't worry about it. But we do it anyway. Because it's like, at the time, we had nothing. We still have nothing. We're not making a revenue from the show or anything. But, like, Shannon now does her art as a side gig, as revenue. So it's like, alright, I can't expect this for free.
And frankly, your album art is way better than all of that, like, clip art you use for all of your posts. So
yeah, trust me. The what I'd use for our posts, I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know how to do this shit, but it's just like, it's something to post on Instagram. That's really all it is.
No, I know. It's basically a clip art app that you're using.
Yeah. It's better than not posting anything at all.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys want some mildly interesting news that's not Dead by Daylight?
Sure.
What about George Jetson?
No, we're not even getting into that.
Okay. It's mildly interesting, though.
Well, Daredevil may be coming to Disney+. A new Daredevil series may be coming to Disney+.
So is it a new series based on the Netflix character?
So, not a lot of information out. Variety's reporting it. Basically, like, Variety is reporting that Marvel and Disney Plus are working on, like, they're developing a new Daredevil series, which fits with what they've been doing lately, where, you know, Matt Murdock showed up in Spider-Man, and it was Charlie Cox, so, like, it should, in theory, be the same Daredevil. And then Fisk, played by D'Onofrio, was in Hawkeye as what seems to be the same Fisk. So either they're going to go one of two ways. Either the old Netflix shows are 100% like an alternate universe which they can do now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Or they're just going to be continuations of what we already know. I'm kind of like, I'm half and half on that. Like, I'd be fine if they continued it, but I'd also be kind of interested to see just what they would do if they just kind of not rebooted and told like the origin again, but just kind of like ran with it as like kind of an unconnected series.
It would be funny if they did make it full canon because of the plethora of actors that were in those shows that were also in Marvel movies as either side or primary characters in the future.
Yeah.
It would make me laugh because like you got what's her name? What show was it? She was she Luke Cage? The woman from Luke Cage, the woman villain lady.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was Luke Cage. She was also she was in Civil War. She was after Tony made his MIT meeting, she spoke to him about something.
Yeah, but
about
that was
her
before
kid.
Luke Cage, wasn't it?
Yeah, but she was also a main character in Luke Cage. And then you got Mahershala Ali, who is Blade, who was also...
Right, I forgot he was in the first season of... He was the villain.
Was he... What was... That wasn't... Was he Diamondback? No,
he was Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth. I knew it was a snake, but it's just... It's funny, in my eyes, at least.
Yeah, no, I mean, and stuff like that would actually be kind of funny. I think like the sort of catch you have there is, you know, you bring in the Daredevil Wilson Fisk part of it and keep it in the same universe. And it's like, well, what about the other stuff? Like, what about Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones? Like, you build up these other characters and then you had them all cross over in the Defenders. Like, you can't just suddenly say these are the same characters, but the ties to those other ones don't exist.
Maybe this series is a push to see like the interest, and if we get the exact continuation of Daredevil in the Disney Plus Daredevil, maybe we'll get some form of continuation with Iron Fist, with Jessica Jones, with Punisher, and Luke Cage. Like Luke Cage,
I forgot Punisher too.
Yeah, Luke Cage ended so well that like that needs to be wrapped up, or not. It doesn't need to be, but like I wish it could be like continued on. Like they can't just leave it where it is if they bring this character back. I actually never watched the last season of Jessica Jones.
It was good.
But I wasn't really into the series, so it is what it is. Daredevil ended so well with like just them getting back together basically, which was awesome. And it's just like and then Iron Fist also like ended in such a crazy note, and like that second season really picked up. That just like it would be nice to see those continue with those actors, with those characters. It would be amazing, and then maybe get like some crossovers with Iron Fist and Shang-Chi, where maybe you got Simu Liu in it as well as Aquafina and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like stuff like that could happen. Like I know, like some of those actors are off already, like in other things. Like Mike Coulter, Luke Cage, like he is a series regular on another show. He couldn't necessarily be Luke Cage again. No,
but if his show doesn't last, they could pick him up. Or
it's already on season 3, and they keep renewing it. It's the show Evil. It's a Paramount Plus show now. But it was actually like it was an interesting like network television like procedural drama.
Yeah.
But like stuff like that, like that's why a lot of like TV actors like leave their shows because they want to go do movies and other things, and they can't because they're busy filming 9 months out of the year. I wouldn't be surprised though if they did something kind of like what I feel like they're doing with Superman and Lois, where they're just not necessarily, they're not saying yes or no to whether or not this is happening in the Prime universe, or what they did with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where at a certain point, they just kind of, like, stopped being connected to everything else.
Yeah. I mean, they did continue to reference the MCU. They referenced Thanos at one point, but, like, yeah, they couldn't really connect it because of what happened in Endgame. Or in Infinity War, not Endgame.
Yeah, it became very loose after, like, season 3. And then, beyond that, it was just, like, yeah, at a certain point, like, they made reference to Infinity War, but then the last 2 seasons didn't tie into anything at all.
Yeah, they went to the past and shit. So like they weren't even in modern times. They weren't even in current like universe stuff.
Oh yeah, so it would have been the season before then, because I was thinking of the one where Coulson was technically a bad guy from another universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which was the second to last season. I forgot the last one was the time travel one.
Yeah, the last one was time travel.
But I would definitely be interested to see. Like I said, I'd be interested to see them kind of just like start fresh, but not start over. If that makes sense.
Pretty much a Spider-Man Homecoming type deal. Like,
yeah, just like, hey, this is Spider-Man. We all know Uncle Ben died. Fucking get over it.
I mean, we find out like Uncle Ben wasn't the one to push him to be Spider-Man. So at least in No Way Home. I
mean, the only thing we find out in there is that he was not the direct one that gave the great power, which up to that point Peter had never said.
Yeah.
We never find out how or when Uncle Ben died.
We never found out if there even was an Uncle Ben. I don't think they ever referenced an Uncle Ben throughout any of those movies.
They do multiple times.
Do they?
In Far From Home, he has his uncle's suitcase.
Okay.
But they do actually mention like Aunt May and mentions them a few times, and I'm pretty sure Peter does once or twice also. But again, like that was one of the things that the Amazing Spider-Man kind of got dinged for by a lot of people was we just saw this less than a decade ago, and now you're doing it again.
Yeah. I think we're going to get that in freshman year. We're probably going to get that in freshman year.
What do you mean?
The Uncle Ben stuff. I'm still subscribing to freshman year is going to be freshman year of high school. And we're probably going to get the Uncle Ben stuff in Spider-Man freshman year on Disney Plus.
Wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
The animated Spider-Man series that's coming out on Disney Plus called Spider-Man Freshman Year.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
This was announced like at least 6 months ago.
Totally fucking missed this. Oh, this was announced around all those other shows that haven't happened yet.
Yeah, and we even talked about it. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be like freshman year of college, but based on how No Way Home ended, I'm like, all right, maybe we're getting freshman year of high school.
Yeah, no, I just looked it up, and it looks, I think you're right. I think it will be high school, because it says it's a prequel to Civil War and Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
So that tracks. Huh. Yeah, November 2021, Disney Plus Day, they announced it. I don't fucking remember this at all.
Yeah. But that argument of whether it was going to be prequel or sequel was before we knew anything about No Way Home. Like, I don't even think we had trailers for No Way Home.
Or it was damn close, because they definitely did the Thor treatment with No Way Home, where like they waited till the last fucking minute to start showing trailers.
Yeah.
And then they showed too many. Like, they just released another fucking Thor trailer yesterday.
It's the same with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange had a new trailer like every week leading up to the movie.
True. How excited are you for more Marvel properties?
Oh, so excited.
Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're like a 12?
Yeah, totally.
I thought so. You're going to be day one waiting outside to buy the DVD set for Spider-Man freshman year. And yeah, I said DVD. You're not even buying Blu-ray.
I got to get them all. That's the thing.
No,
I need the DVD. I need the Blu-ray. I need the HD Blu-ray. Laserdisc. They're going to put it out on Laserdisc.
That was such like a... I need the HD Blu-ray. I know what you meant, but it's just funny. Because that's a thing.
I follow somebody on Instagram who collects fucking VHS tapes and has a TV and VHS player that actually can watch these. I'm like, you're insane.
Especially because VHSs are known, they definitely have a much younger deterioration point than other physical medias.
Mm-hmm.
It's ballsy.
Yeah, very, very.
Anyway, would you guys like to talk about the raid?
Sure, let's get into it.
Well,
so we watched the raid. I thought you were going to say something. So, what did you guys think?
After spending the first 45 minutes of the movie confused as all fuck, and then still spending the last hour and 45 minutes of the movie still not understanding why any of this is happening, I thought the movie was fine. It was fine. The action sequences were really good and kind of brutal, but for the most part, trying to piece together everything and understand what the fuck was going on, I thought it was fine.
So, I also, early on, I was having trouble figuring out what the fuck was going on. I did, at one point I did pause it and look at just the synopsis of the first movie to just get, an idea of what happened, which helped a whole bunch because it just helped me put everything into perspective. So it was much, frankly, it wasn't super hard to figure out that the dude was like some sort of like undercover cop or like government agent or something like that. But like, it didn't make a whole lot of sense early on. But once I figured out kind of like what the plot of the first one was like supposed to be, it was easier to be like, oh, okay, like this makes more sense now. Like, I get what's going on here. But those fights were fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Like the one in the mud in the prison courtyard, like early on in the movie. When he's like before like the cops get there and everything, or the guards get there, and he breaks that dude's leg. Like, oh my fucking god, I cringed. And like there were plenty of other times where I cringed because something like that happened. Like, holy shit. I did like it though. Like, I thought like it was, you know, the story seemed to drag a little bit at times, but I don't think it ever felt like it's overstayed its welcome. And I see why people that are just into action movies like rate this so highly. The subtitles just take it away from me a little bit, because if I get distracted, I then either miss something or I have to go back, and that's always a bummer. And it's usually not as bad for like a 20-minute anime episode, because it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to watch one 20-minute episode a day or whatever. When it's a 2.5-hour movie, then, you know, you really need to focus on it. And we live in an era where that's not always super easy.
Yeah, I watched the first hour and a half while working without having any work that I needed to do, and then like the last hour and a half or so, the last hour, like I kind of got pulled into other stuff, so I had to pause it and do the other stuff. And I'm not trying to use that as a reasoning for why I might not think it was all that great or anything. But it's more of like it did take, like I had to stop my focus on this to go focus on other things, because I managed my time poorly over the past week. But it's there were instances that either I missed something, or just because I never seen the first one, I did not understand the relevance.
Agreed.
First of all, I want to get into like the first half hour of the movie, where there are so many time jumps and time skips. If you do not know anything of that first movie, you're just going to be in the dirt the entire time, or in the mud, as we see in that fight, the entire time. Like, 1 second you're in a field, the next second you're in a barn, the next second you see a van full of 18 dead people.
Well, it's setting everything up.
But what is it setting up? I don't know what it's setting up. Like, I didn't know what was going on because I didn't know what happened before. And I don't know how direct this one is to the previous one. Like, to me, it felt like minutes apart. That's what it felt like to me.
Probably not minutes, but not too far. It
is a direct sequel.
Yeah, because because you have the field scene, which alright, that's probably something that happens later on and is not supposed to be happening right now. I couldn't 100% remember that scene after getting through parts of the movie. But then, like, in the barn, and he's talking to this person, like, who's that person? What is? And then you piece together, oh, he must be a cop by the way he's talking, but he just shot someone in cold blood. What the hell's going on? And I'm like, oh, this is training day now. Okay. Alright, and that's Denzel. I gotcha. And then it like moves to like, all right, well, now there's 18 dead cops. I'm like, wait, what? That was setting up something that they mentioned near the end of the fucking movie that I didn't even piece together until fucking right now. Like, literally did not piece that together until right now, that those 18 dead cops were showing you what Eka did. Like, I'm like, no, that makes sense now. Fucking 2 hours after I finished watching the movie. And then him talking to his, like it just jumped all over the place. And then all of a sudden, he's just in a bathroom stall getting ready to fight a bunch of people, and you find out he's in prison. I'm like, wait, why is he in prison now? I don't understand what's going on.
Well, they explained why he was in prison. Like, the son of the boss, Uka, is in prison. They sent him in to become friends with him to get him into that crime group.
Yeah, because he's basically, and like I forget if they actually spell it out in the beginning, because much like you, I was trying to like basically play catch up over the first like 40 minutes or so. And I'm sure I missed a bunch of things that were said that were more important because they just kind of went over my head. But at one point when he calls like his cop like handlers, and he's asking to be pulled out. The cop said, "No, like this isn't what we sent you in for. We're looking for the corrupt cops."
Mhm.
So like the whole thing was like he was there to find corrupt officers working for the crime boss.
And to me, it felt like a mess early on, and if I had known or watched the first one, I probably would have been less of a mess, and I would have understood
Agreed.
more of it. So that's like, this movie is not a good movie for somebody going in seeing just this movie. You kind of need the little bit of a understanding of what happened prior to, and then just overall, like, there were still things I might have just missed from not paying 100% attention, like, the murderer with the machete with the long hair, like, he just comes out of nowhere, kills someone, and then, like, his importance plays in later, but he was just introduced in my opinion, such a weird way.
Oh, there's so many of those. Like the couple, the woman with the fucking hammers, and the guy with the baseball bat and the baseballs.
I mean, those people weren't like, those aren't as much of a problem to me, because it's like they're henchmen to the guy with the cane. Like, they're fine. They're henchmen to the guy with the cane. That's fine. But the dude with the long hair who looked like a bum and had a machete, like, I don't recall any conversation with him or anything of them saying, hire him to kill this person. It's just the scene cuts to this guy chasing after these, they looked like teenagers or young adults, and stabbing one through the chest through a fence and then pulling it out. And then the scene is over, and I didn't understand who those people were, what the relevance of any of this was. But it wasn't until, like, you find out Rama's plan and what he's doing, including what the dude with the cane, and, like, bringing all that in together, like, you were kind of just showing, like, that scene, the importance of that scene is he is a known hitman, essentially. That's who that guy was. But, like, they don't do a good way of explaining it till after that guy's death. And it's like, oh, well, he was wanted by a lot of people, so it doesn't make sense that the Japanese attacked him. Like, this is just done in such a weird way.
I mean, it's very in line with crime movies, though, which I don't think you watch many of.
Mm-mm.
To me, it's like that character definitely does just kind of show up all of a sudden.
Oh, 100%.
It then, to me, felt like that seems to set up this dude is a fucking badass murderer, and that's why he's able to put up such a strong fight when, I think it's the Chinese gang comes and attacks him in the club.
Yeah. Well, I think it was supposed to be the Japanese
Was
gang?
that the Japanese gang?
I think it was supposed to be the Japanese gang, because they had
Whichever.
the meeting with the...
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a weird setup, because, like, they were setting up that he's...
Agreed.
They were... And it wasn't, like, I agree with you, but also, like, slightly, like, I don't think the scene was to set up him being a badass. The scene was just to set up him being a hitman. Like, and he gets paid to kill people. And then you see his meeting at the club with, is it Ramza or Rama? I can't remember.
That's Uko.
Uko. So you have him, you have the long-haired guy and Uko in the club, and then Uko just leaves, and then it just all begins. It's like, alright, yeah, he's a badass, but then he gets, unfortunately, spoilers are, he gets killed. And it's just like, it was kind of a waste to introduce such an awesome character to throw away this awesome character, but at the same time, like, I understand what they're doing it, but it's just, to me, it was just like a weird sense of storytelling for this. But, like, I get what they were doing, and just me personally, like, the storytelling and everything isn't, like you said, Cobb, it's not really a movie for me. It's not really the type of movies that I watch. But, like, I can understand the movie being a good movie and people liking it. And I thought the action was really good. The combat choreography, like, we gotta just spend some time on that. That was just fantastic.
So,
yeah,
interesting fact that I found out, like, after, like, I watched the movie and was looking some stuff up. So, the writer-director of this movie, and editor, and producer, actually, no, I'm sorry, he only produced the first one, is a Welsh dude. Like, just, yeah.
Yeah.
But he, so he wrote, directed all this stuff, a bunch of these Indonesian, like, crime action films, including both raid movies. he was part of the the action choreography team for both of the Raid movies.
Mm-hmm.
But does not appear to have, like, at least not on Wikipedia, he does not have any, anything listed in here about, like what his, martial arts background might be. Just that he was fascinated with it, and, somehow became an action choreographer for his movies. He also, it's Gareth Evans is the guy's name. He was a guy that was supposed to write and direct the Deathstroke movie when DC was still making movies.
Okay.
Which, based on the way that he did this movie, like this movie and, the action scenes, that would have translated really fucking well to a Deathstroke movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been an amazing Deathstroke.
Yeah, I'm bummed that we don't get to see that now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that all the fight scenes were fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
The fight in the back of the SUV,
Oh man, that was great.
That was like a Jackie Chan fight.
It was, yeah. And then the fight in the hallway with Hammer Girl and Baseball Bat Boy, that was a great scene. Just from beginning to end, I love. It started with the ball going straight into the glass,
and him asking for the ball back.
yeah. Which, when he asked the guy for the ball back before, and he throws it to off out the door, I'm just like, why the fuck would you? It doesn't matter. He's gonna hit you with the bat anyway. Why? Why would you bother? It doesn't make sense.
Earlier in the movie, when they were first showing us those two characters, and the dude is just like pin precision, fucking knocking people out from 20 feet away with a baseball like that. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Those two characters were awesome, and then the whole kitchen fight scene, which is about 10 minutes in and of itself, I think.
Yeah, that fight went on so long, but it never felt like it was over. You never looked at it and you're like, there's no way this fight would still be going. It's oh no, both of these people, they're fighting for their lives. They are not going to give up easily.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, both of those guys, especially the lead character, should have been dead from blood loss before that fight was over. The lead character got his knee bow broken or cut open. No, that you're bleeding out from that, 100%.
I mean,
or is it knee pit or is it knee bow? It's knee pit. It's knee pit. I think.
I don't disagree, but you also don't really know how deep he actually cut him.
And there's not an artery there either. You can have that disbelief in you're not gonna and at least by the time that fight was over, when he walked into the last room, he was not in good shape and would not have been able to actually fight that room. Had it not been the other guy killing people, he would have not survived it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just leave it. Yeah, and they just leave it open at the end too.
Yeah, just real quick on the kitchen fight. I was shocked by the restraint of not using 87 different kitchen utensils in that fight.
Yeah, did they actually grab anything?
No,
I don't think they did.
One pan, deep roasting pan, got thrown.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's one of the good things that they did about this movie is a lot of it was direct hand-to-hand combat.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a lot of prop usage. There was prop usage. There was at the mud fight. He was using the broomstick handle, and then there were some bottles and stuff. But for the most part, when it came to the lead character and his fights, there wasn't a lot of props. He was all hand-to-hand. He was close range combat, and it's just it added and fed to it. The fact that all of these gangsters are proficient martial artists in this world, it blows my mind. But it was still those choreographies were great.
Yeah, they really were. And even the car fight, if you think and I think it's just the difference. If you look at a Hong Kong action movie, even the Ip Man. But I'm thinking more of Jackie Chan movies, Jet Li movies, the stuff from the 90s and early 2000s. Even when that stuff started transitioning into Hollywood, it was always very kind of goofy in a way. it was still like serious action, but like they would do like just silly things to people, like they would grab like a towel and wrap somebody's hands into it and like pull them into a pole or something very like comical and acrobatic and just over the top. Whereas in this movie, like you said, there was none of that. Even in that car scene where if this had been like a Hong Kong action movie, it would have been a whole bunch of like sliding between the seats and like doing like fancy stuff. That fight was very, very just visceral. It was, choking people with seatbelts in a very like stylish way. Like he was literally just wrapping it around them at any chance he got and trying to choke them out. A lot of just elbows and kicks when they could.
When he grabbed the Uzi and blew the face off the biker's face, that was wild.
Oh yeah, and like
wild, man.
There was no like silly like back and forth there. There was no of him punching the helmet or the biker trying to like do something fancy. It was just, here's a gun, here's your face, bye.
Yeah. And that's what they did with a lot of the movie, was like it wasn't like the theatrics. It was just the fights.
Yeah, even when the main character gets into the that where like the last stretch of the movie, he drives that car into the warehouse, he kind of runs over a few people, the car stalls out, he gets out and like he doesn't like pick stuff up and do a bunch of like fancy flips. He just starts fucking throwing people. Like somebody comes at him, he hits them as hard as he fucking can and throws them to the side. Mm-hmm. Like there's no time for fancy footwork. It's just y'all have to be incapacitated because he has people to kill. And not a lot of time to do it. But yeah, I overall like actually enjoyed it. Drew, I don't know if you enjoyed it or not.
Yeah, no, I did for sure.
Yeah, I actually really want to go and actually watch the first one.
Yeah,
at some point.
Like Richie was saying, with stuff feeling missing, I'm like, we fucking should have watched the first one first.
I understand like your thinking for it though, like having gone into this with no real knowledge of it. Like, people that we both follow online talk very highly of the Raid 2.
Yeah.
And, like, you just think it's because of all the action, and that it probably didn't have, like, such an in-depth story. And, like, whoops, it does.
Yeah, like, I feel like you get enough of... The story in Raid 2 is self-contained enough that it doesn't super detract from it. But at the same time, it would have probably even been better with having all the knowledge from the first one.
Yeah, especially just having a little more connection to the main character.
Yeah.
Because like, you can infer a bunch of stuff that, like, he is either married or separated or something and has a child.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of, like, the extent of it. And I'm sure some of it comes across as just, like, we don't speak the language, so we're having to infer everything from subtitles that you might miss something and just vocal tone and body language.
Mm-hmm.
But... yeah, overall, I definitely enjoyed it. There's a third one that came. It's not like connected to these two as like a sequel or anything like that. But it stars the same main guy. And it was from the same director. Called Mirantau, Merantau, from 2009. So if you like the Raid and Raid 2, you might like that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess you guys want to hear what the next movie thing is?
Oh
sure.
Boy, it's your choice.
Isn't it? You don't sound excited.
We'll see.
We're gonna watch Paddington and Paddington 2.
Finally, we're watching the greatest movie of all time.
You know what finally solidified it?
What?
Hideo Kojima.
Did he mention Paddington 2?
Oh, better. Hang on. I'm sorry. I should have had this fucking ready to go, and I didn't, and I apologize.
You failed.
Oh, and I don't know from how long ago this was. Fuck.
But I know I've heard Paddington 2 get mentioned at least 2 to 3 times on Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. Like, it gets mentioned quite frequently of that being like the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah, like, and we've talked about it a bunch before. It's all over fucking Rotten Tomatoes. Like, both of them are very highly rated.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys could both check the group chat for a link to Hideo Kojima's Japanese Twitter.
He's got a Paddington teddy.
But, like, there's 3 pictures of him, like, seemingly very happy to have this toy.
It's Hideo Kojima. He's very happy to have any toy.
I mean, that dude just loves movies.
He does. He's a major cinephile.
But yeah, like I saw that, and I'm just like, you know what? It's my pick. We're gonna watch Paddington.
Awesome.
Also, I think was it last week that you had the squirrel in your house, or was that the week before?
It was 2 weeks ago. It was when we talked about. It was when we chose to do the raid. It was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, I couldn't remember. So like when you were off doing that, Drew and I were talking about the guy that photoshops Paddington into movies.
Yep. I was there for that a little bit.
Yeah, you were sort of floating in and out. But yeah, so in 2 weeks, they're both like 90-minute movies, so it shouldn't be hard. We'll watch Paddington and Paddington 2, which actually are available on things, right? I didn't just like.
I have no idea.
I think we looked at this already. I think it's like on HBO or something. Paddington 1 looks like it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And Paddington 2, HBO.
Man, I need 2 different apps for the now. Paddington might also be on.
Yeah, I mean, Just Watch says it's not. So, but like, Just Watch isn't like 100% every time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so what would that make it? June 9th. The episode that goes up on June 9th, we will be talking about Paddington and Paddington 2.
Oh, that's after my 24-hour stream that gets that. Oh, boy.
Oh, I hope it does.
Me don't. But me too. Me too.
If my Twitch Prime is up by then, I might give it to you that month just to make you stream an extra hour.
Good. You better.
Okay, I just double-checked. Netflix does have Paddington, HBO has Paddington 2. So we're set.
Yes, we got this.
Good. What is next on this outline? Oh no, I've lost Windows, guys.
It's
I found
13 Sentinels Aegis Rims.
I think it's pronounced Aegis.
Whatever, I was stretching, so it was all strained. Sure, we can go with that one.
All right.
But you played 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim?
I did.
Aegis Rim, whatever.
I did.
The game that you keep saying is definitely my kind of game, I think, at one point or another.
So, having not played it and just seen some of it, I thought it would be right up your alley. I still think you'd actually probably enjoy it, but since you basically only play games on stream, I don't know if you'd want to stream it.
Yeah, it's a major RPG, so like it's gonna be hard to be. I don't think it's gonna be very stream friendly.
So
in a sense.
I do know somebody that did stream the whole game recently. And like it seemed to go okay for them, but it's half RTS with mechs and kaiju.
Yeah.
And half weird anime bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically you have your story mode stuff, and it's not even story mode. The game is actually broken up into here's all the story stuff, here's all the fights. And they kind of get locked by each other. So you can't progress into too many of the fights until you have done some of the story. And as you play through the story, it unlocks more characters. So you end up with 13 playable characters at a certain point. And after the kind of a long tutorial, it's like a 2-hour tutorial, but like it just kind of plays like the game. It's just taking its time doing things like as you go. But once you get through that, you can just pick whatever character you want and experience between like 15 and 30 minutes of like narrative focused on that character. And it's all kind of non-linear. So different characters will interact with them, with like each other in their own narratives. But then when you go to like their part of it, they are still interacting, but it's not always in the same order. There's also, there's time travel, which I didn't realize. This game takes place in like 1944, 1945 during World War II. Primarily during 1985. That's like the core timeline. And then 2025, 2065, and like 21 something. So like it's kind of all over the place as far as like time goes. The majority of it is in 1985 though. That's where like the home base is, I guess you could say, for most of the characters. And some of them definitely know that they have time traveled because they have time traveled either from the future or from the past. Some of them seem to be native to that timeline, though, and don't really know what's going on, which makes it super weird when you're in the combat side of it, because they all seem to be on the same page as far as what's going on at that point. And that point seems to be sometime in the future. They also do, like, a lot of just very subtle, like, information drops on people, that are going to hit differently depending on what stuff you have watched. Like, which characters you have followed up to that point. So, there's one character who his name is something different when you're playing as him. And at a certain point, you play through one of his stories. Pretty sure it was one of his stories. And in a memory thing that he has, he introduces himself, totally different name you haven't heard yet, depending on your order. And then you get to another point, and you're talking to this guy, and he is an older person, and he drops his name, and it's the name that the kid gave in this one random scene earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And it just happened to be that the way I was playing, I'm trying not to play like any one character too far out from each other. So I'm kind of trying to keep them at like as close together as possible, so that I'm not getting these wild explanations on something that won't make any sense until like I've played like two other characters. So it was just this like, oh, that's the name that he just gave at the end of his thing like an hour ago. What the fuck? Like, how is that him and that's him? And there's a few other characters like that where like there's a character you meet in the 40s, and then that character seems to be alive in 85 and in the future, but not as like a progressively older person.
Mm-hmm.
Like they seem to be approximately the same age in 85 and in most of the future timelines. Then they are a different age in the 40s, but that seems to be its own weird spot in history. And it has like just this interesting kind of like alternate history take on everything. And the reason I think it'd be up your alley, aside from like the RTS side of it, of the gameplay, is because it is all about like kaiju and mechs battling.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically like aliens have invaded Earth, and that's what you're fighting. And it seems like they have tried to invade Earth multiple times over like 100 years, give or take. And one of those times was actually like in Japan during World War II, and it was like this small town where like two of the characters are from, and they both thought that the Americans did it. That these giant hulking like monster things were like American weapons. And then when those characters end up in 1985, because their little like quaint like countryside town is no longer countryside, it's like an actual like bustling city, they think that they have been abducted and taken to America. Because like they don't know that that they've traveled through time. They think it's still 1945. Like they blacked out on the battlefield basically, and think because they were piloting one of the Sentinels, the mecha, they think that they have just been abducted by the Americans and have been taken back to an American city, but like just left on the side of the road apparently.
It's amazing. That's weird.
Yeah,
That's I don't know. Like when you pull in time travel, it's like a reverse isekai. Like it's just weird.
But like so far, it is actually working really well so far, especially because it's like a choose your own adventure sort of thing. You don't necessarily have to like experience the same thing in the same way. Like there's a couple times where I've noticed I could have basically ended a section early by not talking to a thing or presenting something. Whereas when I do, I get like the option to like remember something, and then you get like a flashback or whatever or like them talking about a dream what they think is a dream they had, but what may have actually been like something they actually experienced in a different time. And there's actually one girl who, in a very like magical girl, like it kind of reminds me of the Madoka anime that we watched like last year.
Yeah.
This girl finds this cat at school, and it does look like a regular cat. It's not like the weird fucking cat from that show. But it talks to her, and it's basically like, hey, if you make a contract with me, I'll grant your wish. And the contract is, I'm going to give you a magic gun, and you're going to go kill witches.
Yeah.
So it's very in line with just, like, it really does feel like it's just pulling from a lot of different, like, anime concepts, and not in, like, a very tropey way. Like, everything does feel like it works for, like, each character, which is odd. And it is a little like, it's a little confusing early on, especially when the game opens up and you're free to kind of either progress story or progress battle, because all the battle stuff has like story like beats in between it where like the characters are talking to each other, and them knowing what's going on there versus not knowing what's going on in like your actual like story vignettes. It's just like, all right, so when do we get to this point? Like, how do they end up here if this is where they're at right now? Or or is this actually where they started and the vignettes are actually where they're going to end up? Like, I don't know where anything's going yet, and it's it's weird and interesting. I ended up, because I took off today to take Ben and everything, I ended up playing like 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And like didn't even realize it. Like I just played all kind of like late morning into early afternoon.
Yeah.
And it was just easy to like, it was easy to bounce back and forth, but it kind of, it's funny, it kind of pushes you to want to keep going, because when you're doing the battles, you get like streak bonuses essentially. And there's like little bonus objectives for each thing, like bring this person into the fight, only have 4, so when you go into the fights, you can have up to 6 Sentinels with you.
Okay.
So it's like, only bring 4 Sentinels, and one of them has to be this guy. Or you can have 6, but they can only be Gen 1 and Gen 4. And then also only have, like, don't have any destruction to this thing. And, like little things like that. So then you get into these fights, and you're like, all right, I have 4 people. There's tons of waves. How the fuck am I going to do this? And you just kind of have to figure it out and hope that you brought a good combination. Because every generation of Sentinel is kind of specialized in different things. So the early ones are basically just melee, but their melee shit is very powerful. So, like, they're great for taking out, like, the really big hulking ones fairly quickly. Whereas, like, later generation ones are a little more aerial. They have more long range and kind of, like, area of effect attacks. But those area effect attacks are really only good against sort of, like, the swarmy enemies, not really, like, the big hulking ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you don't know what you're getting into until the fight actually starts. So you kind of have to like play it safe in a lot of ways and try to bring like a well-rounded team and just hope you don't fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But like there's all sorts of like level up stuff. You get experience from the vignettes and from battling. So you can just dump those into learning new skills or improving existing skills on the Sentinels. You can use them to unlock like group effects. So every match you get one sort of like just all-encompassing attack after you kind of build up the meter. And right now I have 2 unlocked. One of them is just, it does an EMP blast to every enemy on the screen. So if you're getting hit by tons of swarms, you can hit that. And the weaker stuff, it just kills immediately. And the stronger stuff, it actually like incapacitates temporarily. And then I also have a thing that if I use it, it'll just heal all my Sentinels. So if your Sentinels get destroyed, they go into like a repair mode, but your pilot is then ejected, and you have to make sure that your pilot is like in a safe place on the map, because if anything explodes near them, or if any of the kaiju attack them, they'll die and then you fail. Like if any of your pilots die, it's an automatic fail.
Okay.
And yeah, it's interesting. The only thing that's getting a little hard to balance is if you want to keep your streak going, because you get like multipliers by just going from one battle to the other without like quote unquote healing. Your characters basically build up like a psychic disturbance because the suits are connected to their brains. Mm-hmm. So it's not so much it's not like a Gundam that they're piloting. It's actually like connected to their brains, and like it's moving with their brain activity.
It's a Jaeger, except it only takes one person, not 2.
Yeah, actually, that's a good example. And for whatever reason, they have to be naked in there. They don't show anything. But like one of the first things somebody says when they're in there is like, "Where did all my clothes go?"
It's an anime. Like, yeah, that's just expected.
To this point, there is zero like fan service, anything like when they're in these things, they're like, Drew. I know Drew. You've played Metal Gear Solid, the first one, right?
Of course.
Rich, have you?
Yeah, I played the first Metal Gear.
Okay, you know the Kodak pictures, like when you go into the Kodak to talk to people, like those little still images?
Okay.
That's essentially what they look like when they're in the kaiju, just like bigger and higher quality. But they're like a monochrome color, and it's all kind of like them like face down with their head just up, so you literally can't see anything. So the fact that they're all naked in these ships is very weird. Like they weren't leaning into anything like weird or fan servicey. It was just a weird decision they made. But yeah, so they build up like this psychic pressure or whatever you want to call it. And as it builds up, if it builds up all the way, they basically are incapacitated for like the next fight. So you cannot deploy with them. So if you have like a team of 6 and it's like all of your like long range people, and they all get incapacitated and you can only go in with like short range and support, you're going to have a really bad fucking time if your next match is all flying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be very like thoughtful about like, all right, well, let me bring out like these two with me now, but I'll leave these ones here because it's like if they sit out a match, that gauge goes down a little bit. So there's kind of like a back and forth to it. But you have the option before each wave to just, and they call each individual battle a wave, to heal everybody, but it resets your streak bonus. So you kind of want to like ride it out as long as you can, which does make it, it gives it like an interesting challenge. And there is a difficulty setting there. So there's easy, normal, and hard, depending on like normal so far has actually been pretty easy. Like I had one fight where I ran into a little bit of trouble, and it was just because I deployed with two characters that I thought had a thing that didn't, and it just ended up making taking down bigger things take longer. But otherwise, like it's pretty cool so far. And like I said, I played like 6 hours today, so it's definitely something worth checking out.
Nice. I do like the art style for the game. Like the at least when they're talking, like the 2D plane when they're talking stuff and walking around. I think that's really cool looking. I've seen some things about it. I've looked this up constantly. Thought about buying it so many times. It's probably on my Steam wish list at the moment.
It's not on PC, so it's not.
Really?
Nope.
Yeah, it's PS4 and it just came out on Switch, and I think it might be Xbox.
No,
wow.
Just PS4 and Switch.
Okay, I thought I had seen that. Maybe it's coming to Xbox at some point.
I would be shocked if it was coming to Xbox and it wasn't already there by the...
I mean, you're not wrong, but Sony may have had one of those weird things.
But why wouldn't they have put it out the same time they put out the Switch version?
You're not wrong. I like I said, I thought I saw something for somewhere. Oh, it was supposed to be on Vita. Maybe that's what I was thinking of as like another platform it was supposed to be on.
Yeah, like the wiki said just play PS4 and Switch, so...
But see, all the more reason to get an Elgato so that you can stream it off your PlayStation 5.
I could just stream it off my Switch.
Or just natively off the PlayStation, too. Like,
yeah, or just where I could... That game is not very resource intensive. I could probably use my capture card for my PS5. Like the capture card that I have is the Genki Shadowcast. It'll probably work fine with PS5. But like if I try to get anything a little bit more resource heavy and intensive, it might not be all that great because I already have to use it in. I have to use the Shadowcast itself in performance mode over resolution mode, and if I'm playing something with high resolution, or like that's very graphic intensive, why not just be able to do the graphic stuff? But also at the same time, I don't have a monitor or even a TV that lets me get to the peak capabilities of graphical capabilities, so it doesn't really matter to me.
That's fair. And yeah, like neither section of this game has like anything too demanding on it. Like the story bits are like that. It's like that 2.5D because there is a bit of like X and Y that you can move on. Like it's not just the one like back and forth 2D plane.
Yeah.
But it is very, it looks like an anime, and it's very much has that like almost like hand painted look to it, and a lot of the levels like the colors are kind of muted, so it would play fine like that. And the battle screens are very much just like a very pulled out shot. So, like, you never really get a good view of, like, the Sentinels or the enemies. They're really just different colored shapes on the map that you're attacking. And you're just kind of like...
a shame.
Yeah, no, like, I would have... Apparently, from what I was, like, reading up on this game, that is, like, the RTS side of it is, like, the thing that, like, it got dinged for the most, because it's not, like, a bad RTS. It has some cool mechanics to it, but, like, visually, it's kind of very underwhelming as far as that goes. And, like I said, at least on normal mode, it's pretty easy so far. And, I'm sure it gets harder on harder, but, I feel like normal should have a little more challenge to it than it has up to this point. I'm only in, like, the second section of fights beyond the tutorial. Because I actually hit a point where I can't progress fights anymore until I get all of my story stuff up higher, because the fights were going so quickly, I did a whole bunch of them in a row and then ran out of them, essentially.
Yeah.
But they are generally pretty quick, and there's a lot of wins, like, ways to win in them. It's like...
Okay.
Like, hold out until... They're all tower defense. Like, so it's RTS, but it's a tower defense. Like, you have a tower in every level that you are trying to make sure the enemies don't destroy. Yeah. And once the timer runs out, the tower actually activates and destroys all of the enemies on the field. So, like, The win scenario is defeat all the enemies or just hold out until time runs out.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim.
It sounds good. It's been on my radar. It's just I've gotten other potentially more interesting games come out that I've wanted to play more.
This is the most interesting.
Way
Way more interesting than Elden Ring.
What's that?
I said way more interesting than Elden Ring.
You know what? On a level of story capabilities, absolutely 100%. I haven't even played this game, and I can tell you, way more interesting than.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about you beating Elden Ring?
So I beat Elden Ring. There we go. That's it. No, yeah, I cleared it on Thursday last week. After a stressful, what was it, a 6.5, almost 7-hour stream. Or not after, during 6.5, 7-hour stream. I fought Melania for about 2.5 hours, and then Let Me Solo Her showed up. It took him 3 tries still, but he was able to do it. And then I just went toward the ending of the game, and like the final area was really cool. Like Faramathala, I believe is what it's called. It was a really neat area. There's all these tornadoes. There's a destroyed city. Like you know you're going the right way when you get to a grace point, and they were very common to get to. But it was like it's kind of a dungeon style thing where like you need to be going in this direct path to get to the boss. It was a really, really cool area. And the final boss, his name is Malekith. He's this giant dog thing. He's the avatar of death, basically. He was fucking awesome. A great fight. A little tough, but still a great fight. But, like, after going 2.5 hours fighting Melania, and then fighting this guy probably took me about 10 tries, and then going to the actual end of the game, because that wasn't even the end of the game, which I thought it was going to be. But you have to go actually get to the Elden Ring, which I thought the whole point of this game was you're tarnished, and you're trying to become the Elden Lord, so you have to go and get the Elden Ring. And I didn't realize that everyone was trying to stop you from getting the Elden Ring. Like, even your allies end up trying to stop you from getting the Elden Ring. Like, why? I thought this is the point of a tarnished, is to get the Elden Ring and become Elden Lord. Like, it doesn't make sense. What is it about this game? Like, what is this game? Doesn't make sense. But then they throw some like one stupid boss fight that you could see coming from a mile away, because he even tells you at the beginning, like, I'm getting the Elden Ring, and he's a fucking douche. You kill him, he's easy, he's a waste of time and a breath. And then you go fight the same boss you already fought earlier in the same arena again. But he has a second phase this time where it becomes super anime and it becomes Akuma. I think that fight took me 1 try. And it's just like, overall, the experience is like, it's going fine, it's going decent, the end of the game is going alright. And then you get to the end of the fucking game. And the last 2 bosses, like, literally the last boss was the worst. It was called the Elden Beast. And it is a gimmicky boss, kind of, where it's just this giant galactic, like, it's just beast that looks like galaxies within it. And the stage that you're on, it's all like, it's like an inch of water that you're running in, and it's just all open, and that's all. And it turns into, at certain points, like a bullet hell style, like, dodges attacks. And I'm like, this is not what I had signed up for. This is not, like, he has one move where he will swing his sword, and it'll go all the way across the map. And when I mean all the way across, it takes a good 20 seconds to get to him from one side of the map to the other. And he'll swing this sword, and he'll get to you within 2 seconds. Like, it's not a slow-moving thing.
Okay.
But, like, he swings his sword, and he does that 4 times. He has another ability where he shoots beams out of his back, and then they just constantly fall down. You have to just run to the side, and they constantly drop down, like, right at your feet as long as you're running long enough. He has another ability where he jumps up into the air, creates a ring on the ground, and the ring closes in on you, and you have to either jump over it or roll through it, but you have to get the roll right to get the iframes to not get hurt by this ring, and the objective is to get out of that ring. And then he has another ability where he throws out an orb of light that just constantly throws projectiles at you for, like, maybe a good 30 seconds? I don't know. Might have been able to try to kill that thing. I have no idea. But there was one instance where he dropped the ring, the beams of light, and the orb all at the same time on me. And then, as soon as I was able to get out of the ring, he swung his sword at me when I had no stamina left to be able to jump or dodge over this thing. And if you get hit by that thing, it's most of your health. This guy hits like a truck. It was honestly the worst boss fight I've ever experienced in my life. Melania was fun. It was difficult, but it was fun. This boss fight was just bullshit. Absolute horseshit. And again, it did not make sense. None of this ending made sense at all. The whole point of you going and fighting all these things was to get access to reforge the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord. But you ended up having to fight the dead first Elden Lord. Like, what is this? What's going on? It was very disappointing.
Sounds exciting.
Oh, I haven't even gotten to the best part.
Tell us about the blue runes.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. So I played, if you watch me on stream, I played 99% of this game on offline mode. Mostly because when you go to exit the game, you have to click exit in your menu. You have to go to systems, and you have to click exit. That'll save and exit where you're at. And then to actually exit the game itself, you need to have the menu pop open, which requires the game to connect to the internet. So in order to exit the game, you have to exit, connect to the internet, exit. It was the dumbest thing. There was no just quit to desktop. If you just quit game, and then you had to go, and it was dumb. So, like, I ended up, because I thought it was dumb, and because I didn't want to get invaded at all, because fuck PvP in these games. Seriously, fuck PvP in Soulsborns. These games aren't built for that. At least in my opinion. And it's not that I'm not good, it's just that it's dumb. That's not what I play these games for. And so I don't want to be invaded, so I turn that off. I turn that shit off. So I played a majority of the game without getting the specters, without getting the little white runes on the ground.
Wait.
And then,
so are you trying to tell me that you weren't just enthralled and helped by constant messages letting you next time to try finger butthole?
No, I will be 100% honest. I find those things stupid. I find those messages dumb. I hated every Souls game I've ever played. I hated them because people are trolls. 90% of the time, it's a troll. And to me, there's no point in having them. I don't like having them there. I don't like having the specters in there because they, like, it also, like, throws you off because, oh, there's just this random ghost running around that doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't add anything for you. Why is it there? It's kind of pointless. Like, I don't like it. I don't think it's worthwhile. I don't think it's needed. And I don't like the idea of, if you play online, being able to actually just be invaded randomly sometimes. Depends on the area, depends on where you're at, but there is a chance. Like, yes, most of the time you have to activate an item to be able to get invaded, but there are areas, at least in other Souls games, where you had to be invaded. There was a fucking boss in Demon Souls, which the whole boss was getting invaded and having a PvP match. Hardest boss in that game. I one-shot the final boss in Demon Souls. It took me 30 tries to kill somebody else. Because it was random each time, and it's PvP bullshit. I'm not, like, I'm very bitter about this PvP shit. I'm not a Souls purist. I don't think PvP is necessary or even should really be a part of these games. These are not PvP games. The game is hard enough already. I don't need the frustration of people. I don't. It's also, the co-op in this game is absolute horseshit. That, like, it costs an item, a consumable item, to co-op. And if the host dies, or if you beat a boss, well, yeah, if the host dies, you beat a boss, you have to use that item again. You have to consume another item to co-op with the same person, because they get sent back to their own world. You can't actually play this game 100% co-op. It's stupid.
It is a shame that it's a game that they sort of pitch as being co-op. Like, it wasn't a hard pitch, but, like, it is one of, like, the tags for the game. Yeah. But it's only kind of co-op. Like, yeah. Like, you have to try real hard for that game to be co-op, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's so much you have to do. And, like, when I tried calling in assistance and help fighting Melania the first time, I couldn't figure out how to connect to the fucking internet. I was going through all my menus. I turned on the internet, and it wouldn't connect. I didn't know what I did. So when I exited that night and ended the game, I made sure to turn on, like, auto connect to the internet when you load up the game. I don't, like, if somebody's listening and you're a fan of PvP and Soulsborns, great for you. I'm happy, I'm proud of you, like, that's awesome for you. I don't see a point. Because, there's many things that could happen. Thing number one, you could just have a person get themselves to max level and just have every stat at 99 all the time. Which then, yes, you can all do that, but I'm not dedicating I think it takes about 2 weeks of time to get that. I'm not gonna do that.
Why not?
Because it's stupid. Like, fuck that. It's already bullshit. But anyway, let's get back to the final game. So, because I played most of the game on offline mode, I didn't get a lot of the runes or anything, so that when I actually activated online and was able to pull in, let me solo her, I never turned it back off. And so I did Rennie's quest. I did all of Rennie's quest. And I was just expecting, like any game I've ever fucking played, you do enough to get an ending, you get that ending when you beat the game. I've never played a game that you do enough to get an ending, you actually have to do something else to unlock the ending. It's usually, as far as I can remember, you do this stuff, you get that end. Or, they flat out ask you a choice at the very end. Like, it was, let's take Mass Effect 3, for example. You do everything to get the ending, and then it gives you a choice. Ending 1, ending 2, or ending 3. But if you don't do everything to get the ending, they only give you the choice ending 1, or they only give you the choice for ending 1 or 2. Like, at least this time you get a choice. And yes, I got a choice. But I didn't know I had to activate these fucking runes. It wasn't said, oh, Rennie's here, you should summon her. Like, these runes I started right on top of, I didn't even fucking see. Because the whole entire arena's blue. I go back, I activate the Site of Grace, and then I see, oh, there's a statue there, let's go activate this statue. Because I assume that's what I need to do, and I just go run up and activate the statue. I get this little bullshit ending where I'm sitting on a fucking throne, and that's it. 90 goddamn hours of this game. I spent 10 plus hours doing a quest line for someone else that was not mandatory, and I didn't need to do. It could have saved me a lot of time. I also spent 10 fucking hours fighting one boss because I'm stubborn. I could have saved 20 hours of my life not doing this shit and still gotten the same ending. And that's what really ticks me off about this game. It's so fucking long, but there's no real reward.
The reward is the friendships you made along the way, man.
I made no friendships because I didn't play online. Fuck off.
Well, see, you fucked up then. Try finger butthole.
No. That stuff's just dumb.
Hidden door this way.
I was over it already. Like, the game is too long, and it's too open. It is, like you say, Cobb, with Breath of the Wild. It is a good game. It is the worst Soulsborne game I've ever played. I can't sit here and say it's the worst From Software game, because From Software also makes Armored Core, and I've only played a few of those. But it is the worst Soulsborne game I've ever played.
But it's also the one that has drawn in the most people, which is funny. This game is definitely going to get like Game of the Year shit, and it's gonna be rated so high, and it doesn't deserve it. It doesn't. To this day, which is what, 4 months after release? 3?
It's still 3 months after release. I still get frame rate drops constantly. Like, and I'm not just saying like a quick like slow down, like literal stop for a second drop stops.
And we've been over this. It's because your PC's garbage and you need a new one.
No, it's because of apparently the easy anti-cheat that they put into it. Because it's not just, it's everyone's PC. And like, I agree with Eric that graphically and systems-wise, the game just does not perform or operate all that well. It doesn't look that, there are some beautiful scenery. Going into the capital for the first time and seeing the tree and the throne area built into the tree. That's beautiful. That's gorgeous. But it's still, like, when you're up close, when you're near things, when you're in it, like, it just doesn't look that great. And
I don't think any of the From Software games have ever been like, oh, this game looks really good for the on the hardware that it was built on, if that makes sense. Like, they don't look bad, but they just, they're muddy and kind of, like, forgettable aesthetically.
Yeah, and exactly.
That's that franchise.
And that's what it is. But, like, people are going to pine over, or are not going to have been pining over this. Like, again, there is a major, like, I played 90 hours of this game. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. I don't understand why I did any of it, or why everyone was against me doing it all.
Well, did you ever try Finger Butthole?
No, because I never got that. It's like,
well, because you never had yourself online.
But what does Finger Butthole mean? Like, this is
think about it.
Like, I know what it means, Cobb, but this is just this is why I play those games offline, because it's
because
either
you hate fun.
No, it's either because I'm not trying to run around in a game and go to grab an item, and 7 fucking messages are right next to that item, and I can't grab it because 7 people decided to drop messages saying, try Finger Butthole, give praise, ode to Elden. Thank you, Chase. Thank you for explaining my frustration. Come here.
You got so worked up that you upset Chase. What an asshole.
Mister. Come here. Sit. Good boy. But the game is good. It's not great. It's not Game of the Year. It's not fantastic. It's just good. Now, I will say, if I had seen the runes for the rainy ending, maybe my feelings would be slightly different, but I'd still feel that the game is just fun. I feel totally, in a sense, gypped out of my time in the fact that there is 90 hours worth of content, and I got the same ending as somebody who puts in 3 hours worth of work. Less than 3. What's the speed runs at right now?
Like 7 minutes.
Yeah. And that's not a sense of like, yeah, I could play Super Mario World for 10 hours or for 5 hours and get the same ending as a speedrunner who gets it done in 2 minutes. But like, it's still, this game is practically brand new, and I could probably start New Game Plus right now and beat it in 10 hours and get the same exact ending that it took me 90 hours to get.
Do it.
No, fuck off. I'm
Coward.
not. The game's already uninstalled. Like, I will probably never play this game again. 0.01% chance of me ever picking this game back up. I got 90 hours full of it. It's less than $1 an hour that I spent to play this game. I'm fine. I'm done. I don't need it anymore. Like, there's usually, in a From Software game, anytime I play one, there is a point of rage quit where I stop for some time. With Bloodborne, it was getting through the fire pit, which was right at the beginning, the bonfire, and I put that game down for 6 months, picked it up, got right back in it, beat it in like a week. For Demon's Souls, it was the bridge to the Night Soul, to the Tower Knight. That part I spent 3 hours on, kept dying, screaming at the top of my lungs, put the controller down, turned it off for a day or two, went back to it, did it, fine, beat the game in about a week or so. This game took me fucking 3 months to beat. My rage quit is beating the fucking game, and I'm done. I don't ever have to put this back in. It is now in the basement, and I will never play it again. I
mean, like, I feel like maybe if you hadn't kind of forced yourself to keep playing it the way you did, you might end up feeling differently, because you may have taken that break and then gone back to it 6 months later, and not, because I feel like you just got burnt out on it. Like, at a certain point, you didn't want to play it anymore, but you just forced yourself to play it every night on stream.
But, like, at a certain point, I didn't want to play it anymore. I was still playing it once a week. It was, alright, I want to beat this. I want this done. And, like, I only played it 3 nights in a row. Like, it was maybe, because Thursday I beat Mega Man, and it was Sunday, Monday. Alright, so it was 4 nights in a row. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday that it took me to go through and beat it again. and it was like, it wasn't, I don't think it's much, it might be a little bit of how I ended up beating it that really, like, put me over the edge, because it was late when I beat the Elden Beast. Like, the final sequence of the game is Farmathala, boss, like, in a row. There's like 4 or 5 fucking bosses in a row. Farmathala itself has like 3 or 4 bosses just to get through it as well. And it's like, these games are made to be difficult. These games are made to have hard bosses. But it's just, to get to the final boss of Farmathala, you have to fight a boss that is not a boss. It doesn't get a boss health bar, it doesn't have a boss zone, and it doesn't, like, but it doesn't respawn when you kill it. And it does give you, like, armor. I could have just bypassed that, but that boss alone took me 2 tries. So that enemy alone took me like 2 or 3 tries. And it's just like, the final sequence of the game, like, if I had stopped after beating Malekith and gone back to it the next day and spent another hour playing the game, maybe would I feel differently? Maybe. But I had an hour left of the game. I did not want to turn the game on for an hour. I just wanted it over.
Oh, I completely understand that. And I don't mean just like there. I mean just in general. From very early on with this game, you didn't seem super into it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you kept playing it because it was part of like your stream rotation. And you wanted to keep it up because you did want to see it through, and you knew that it was a popular enough game that people would want to watch. And I get that. But I think if you would have walked away for a little while, like, you wouldn't be as down on it as you are now.
Just to counter that, I was playing it on stream, solely on stream, just because I started it on stream. If I had not started it specifically on stream, I would have been playing it any other time. It was some of my worst performing sessions.
I believe
playing that game on stream.
There's too many people playing it.
Yeah, and it is, and I even said when, like, I was going into my final week of play, I'm like, guys, I know this game oversaturates the internet. It's all over the place. I feel you. I see it all over the place. I'm tired of seeing Elden Ring. That's why we're beating it. I get it if you don't want to come and watch. I get it if you don't want to come hang out. I totally understand. But we're beating it, so we don't have to do it again. And that's how I, like, I get what you're saying, because I was not all thrilled with it. And when I first started, I was like, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. And then the more I played it, the more I started to fall in love and enjoy it. But then it would get to where I'm playing a 6-hour session and get nowhere. Nowhere. And it's not because I kept dying. It's not because these bosses were too hard. Just because literally I found nothing in 6 hours.
Yeah, whereas I feel like if this was a year ago now, like before you started like having like a stream presence, you would have dropped the game for a while and gone and played something else kind of like as you felt like it, and then come back to that one eventually and been like, oh right, like I do enjoy this, and gotten back into the groove of it.
Maybe. Like, all the bad I'm talking about, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. Like,
yes. No, that's exactly what you said.
No,
you said you hated it. You said it's a bad game. You said anyone that likes it is a bad person.
No, it's the exact opposite of what I said.
True. Isn't that what he said? He's been saying it for like 20 minutes now.
Bits and pieces.
Like, it is a good game. I did, like, the combat, like, there are many bits about it that I enjoy. There are many, many bits about it that I do not enjoy. And so I'm glad I'm done with it. I'm glad it is over. I'm glad I can uninstall it, because just that whole ending sequence, and like the fact that because of autosaves, I could not reload. I mean, my autosave might still be saved from before I chose which ending, but because of autosaves, I can't tell my game to reload and go do Rainy's ending right now. Like, it doesn't give me an option for a save slot or anything like that. It's just flat out, you go to the thing, you save. That's it. If I could have chosen a different save, I do this with most games that give me a save slot opportunity and a chance to save before going to the ending. I make a second save so that I can go back to the ending in case there was something I missed, or I could go back to that point, maybe go and float around somewhere else to do other stuff. But then that takes away the New Game Plus ending capabilities and such. Like, if they allowed that to be done easily, then I wouldn't have to do New Game Plus, and I'd be able to easily platinum the game.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just Elden Ring. It is absolutely fine. It is a good game. It is like,
Goaty.
If you have not
Goaty 2022, guys.
If you have not played Elden Ring right now, by now, and you're still not oversaturated with Elden Ring information. Like, to the point of Deathloop oversaturation. And I think that's my biggest problem, is everyone is talking about it still. Same with Deathloop. Like Deathloop, we saw it every PlayStation event. We saw Deathloop. Even now, like, there's at least one website, one YouTube channel, one YouTube story, something about Elden Ring, like, every week. Maybe I'd feel a little bit less bitter about it, but it's just so oversaturated, so all over the place, and it is not that. It is good, but it is not Game of the Year. Oh my god, this is the greatest fucking thing in the world.
I mean, I don't know about you, Cobb, but I'll personally say I don't see Elden Ring anywhere, ever. Like, I feel like that's an algorithm thing more for you, Richie.
Yeah, I actually don't run it, like, there was a while there, like, most of March, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, even into April. But, like, yeah, in the last month, I have not really seen or heard much about Elden Ring outside of you, actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, end of May. Like, what I was saying is, from the beginning till now, we were getting so much Elden Ring.
I mean, like, it was very much oversaturated for the first, like, 2 months.
I know streamers who don't, like, and I'm not talking, like, small streamers like me. I know, like, bigger streamers who don't really play these types of games picked it up and played it. And I'm just like,
this was the biggest From Software game ever. Like, didn't they announce it sold more copies than the last Call of Duty?
That wouldn't surprise me.
Like Elden Ring did to the series probably what Monster Hunter World did to the series. It brought in a lot of more mainstream players. And a lot of people have continued to play Monster Hunter since World. Somehow they're able to go back to older Monster Hunter games, because that's a really hard thing to do. I could never even do it, because Monster Hunter World just, like, was so good. But, like, people have gone to Rise, people have gone back to Generations, to 4, to 3. Like, Monster Hunter World did huge things for Monster Hunter and for Capcom. And yes, Elden Ring is going to do huge things for From Software. Like, this is where we've been getting the rumors of Armored fucking Core. Like, if we can, come on, give me Armored fucking Core. But it's just, I hope they don't feed too far into what Elden Ring was. And I do hope they go back a little bit to their roots. Because if they continue to go with this open world style that they did with Elden Ring, they've lost me, at least.
Unfortunately, I think because of how well the game did, like, they're definitely going to try and recreate this again. And you're going to see some other studios try to recreate it too, the same way you saw studios trying to recreate Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're done with Elden Ring, I have one other thing I forgot about until I just saw something for it a few minutes ago.
Oh boy! So it's Dead by Daylight dating sim. You actually watch a trailer?
No, I didn't. So, have you guys seen the new PS Plus news going around today?
Not really. Like, I've seen it being talked about, but I didn't look into it.
So,
like, going around today or going around recently? Because I did see that they they recently announced, like, it wasn't prices, but they gave a game list and stuff of their upcoming new service?
Some of the games that are going to be available on the service, yeah. That's not what this is. So that was like 2 weeks ago, I think, is when that stuff started coming out. And they announced the prices a while back. We read through all of that. So what people are finding out today, so the premium tiers are available in some markets already. It sounds like they're already available in Japan. And what people are finding is when they are upgrading or trying to upgrade, they are being asked to pay. Let me start over because this isn't going to make a lot of sense. PS Plus goes on sale a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's, what is it? Is it $59.99 for a year was the base price? Is that right?
Yep.
So usually $60 for a year. But you can find it as low as like $30 for a year, especially around like holidays. And it's stackable. So, you know, you could buy 5 years worth of PS Plus at half price. And it stacks.
Mm-hmm.
So what people are finding is when they're going to upgrade to a premium tier, if their existing subscription was purchased at a discounted rate, they have to pay the difference also. So they have to, so, you know, if it's $50 for the next tier, like normal from 60 to 110, I think is what the high tier is. So $50. But they paid $30. They have to pay $80 to upgrade. Not just the difference, even though they're already on the lowest tier. And if they have subscriptions stacked, or if they bought multiple years at a time, you cannot pay for an upgrade for just a portion of that. You have to pay for the entire length of your subscription. So you can't, like, the way you could with, like, Game Pass, for instance, you can't, like, jump in for a month to check it out and then, like, go back to the base subscription. Mm-hmm. You have to upgrade your entire existing subscription. So if you have 10 years stacked because you just went all in on PS Plus at a discount rate, you have to pay 10 years worth of upgrade up front for the entire difference.
I get it. I kind of get it. Like,
I feel like that's an error. Like, or
it has to be. Sony's back end stuff has always been a fucking shit show. Like, yeah. they built the PSN was built in such a shitty way that, like, nothing makes sense. So, like, this has to be some sort of just weird error.
The thing is, when you think about it, do you really think Sony ever thought that their online subscription cards would go on sale as frequently as they do?
They're the ones putting them on sale. Like, a lot of the sales are straight through the PSN, too. It's not just, like, retailers selling the cards or whatever third party.
But, I mean, and we add on to B, when they first inaugurated the PlayStation Plus, they probably never thought that they were going to be adding something to it, such as this. That, like, not having this contingency set up and not thinking about the fact that maybe somebody possibly has 10 years of PS Plus set up, which I know that was just a randomly picked out number, but, like, why would you have 10 years? I wouldn't. I would max out at a year tops each time. Like, you never know when this service is going to go down. You don't want to pay for 10 years and it goes down in 3. So, like, why would you do that? But
so two things are going on here. Some of these people did actually stack them recently because of the upgrade. Because, like anyone else would think, you know, if you have PS Plus already and you've purchased it at a discounted rate, you should only really have, like, you would assume you're only paying to go from the bottom tier to whatever upper tier you want, not paying for whatever discount you had for your bottom tier.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you pay less for it, it is still the same tier that everybody else has.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, people do stack it because they know they're going to keep it. They know they're not going to get rid of it because they want to play online. They want to play cloud games, like, or get the free games, what have you, cloud saves. So, like, yeah, if they have, you know, $300 and nothing to do with it, and PS Plus is on sale for $25, they're just going to buy a bunch of PS Plus because then they won't have to do it again.
Yeah.
But now, like, if they want to upgrade, they're in this bad position where even if you want to say it's cool to have to pay the difference, if, like, you got the discount rate, like, that's one separate issue. That seems like a bad business move because it's going to make people upset and it's going to have just bad word of mouth going around about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have 10 years of PS Plus stacked. You want me to pay you hundreds and hundreds of dollars right now to try a new service? That is maybe garbage. We don't know yet. It's brand fucking new. And just be locked into it for a decade? Fuck no. Like, that, it's not me, but, like, I'm sure that's the response anyone else is going to have.
I mean, like, I see what you're saying, and, like, I when it comes to the second part, where it's, I have 10 years stacked up, and you really expect me to pay for 10 years of this. I mean, you already paid for 10 years of it. Like, you paid for 10, so you're only paying for the added price of the 10 years, which, like, you already did this. Like, this is on, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it, this is on you.
No, like, it's not, though.
Like, it is.
You should be able to try that service out and not have to subscribe to the full term of your subscription. It's an unproven fucking service at this point. We don't know if Sony's even going to stick with it long term. You bought 3 years. Let's say you bought 3 years of PlayStation Plus at this discounted rate to get these PlayStation Plus cards to add the code to get your free 3 years. That's $90.
$90. And now you want to try out a single month of this thing that you've already paid for 3 years of.
But it's not the same thing.
It is, though, because PlayStation Plus is included in the new service.
But it's $60 more expensive, plus the other $30 that you per year that you spent for the other 3 years.
No, there's no way. There's no way they're charging you what you spent. If I paid, so if a year card is $25 and I paid $30 for it, or no, if a year card is $50, because that's what it was, right? A year card was $50. There's $60, and I paid $30 for it. And then the upgrade is to go from PlayStation Plus to one of the premiums, one of the new tiers that has the on-demand shit and whatnot, is additional $60 on top of the $60 you already spent a year, right?
Yes. So the premium tier, the highest tier PS Plus now, is $120 per year.
Yes.
So it's double the price of the bottom tier, which is just the regular existing PS Plus. Okay.
And so you're telling me that because these people got 3 years ahead and spent $90 to get 3 years of cards, they're now mad because they want to try the new service at $120 and they're being expected to pay $180 to fill out their 3 years.
If that math is right, probably. Because, so they're being asked to pay the extra $30 that they didn't pay because they bought PS Plus on sale.
How can they know that? How can PlayStation know that they got it on sale when you get a fucking card and you put the number in?
I have never purchased a card. I don't know why you're so hung up on cards. I've never purchased a physical fucking card. I buy it right through Sony.
I've never bought PlayStation Plus on sale through Sony. I've always gotten, if I got PlayStation Plus for a year of PlayStation Plus on sale, I got like a year card. I got a code. You get a code, you put it in there.
Yeah, I've never fucking done that. I do it right through Sony's site. They go on sale 3 times a year.
So, anyway, if Sony is expecting you to pay that additional $30 on top of it, that's fucked up. But if Sony is sitting here and telling you, well, you've got 3 years subscribed, so you gotta pay us for the 3 years that you have subscribed onto this service, so that's an additional $180, that's on you. The 90 that you got the discounted rate for that they're trying to charge you extra on, fuck that. The 180 because you have 3 years of subscription, that's on you.
But you should be able to do you should be able to upgrade your service for a limited amount of time for the new service.
Agreed.
That's what I'm saying. But you agree though that making them offering a discount and then being like, oh, if you want to use the new service, you have to pay what you didn't pay already is fucked at least. If it's actually intentional.
If they're sitting here and telling people that, oh, we sold this at a 50% discount, but if you want to upgrade to our most expensive tier, you need to pay the $60 additional plus the $30 that you got the discount. Fuck them for the $30. Fuck them for that. 100%.
So that is the bigger part of the report that's happening right now. That is what people that are trying to subscribe to it in Japan are saying is happening. So that's the bigger issue right now. Is that Sony has not commented from what I've seen. There's been no communication from Sony if this was a fuck up on their end or if it's actually intentional. But that's definitely the bigger issue. It's just more of a nuisance that you can't try the service for a lesser time. I would be willing to upgrade for a month to check out what the games are, but I don't want that service enough to pay an extra $60 this year. Absolutely not. It's the same way I don't want to spend the extra money for the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. There's not a big enough reason for me to do it, so I'm not going to. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure there are plenty of people that do want to just try a game out and maybe they want to play for 3 months because they want to play I don't remember what games were announced on there, but I think Wild Arms may have been one of them, which is an old JRPG. Mm-hmm. So that's gonna take a while to play. So maybe somebody just wants to play for a few months. They'll pay the monthly fee, but they don't want to drop a full $60 for a year of something that they're only going to use for 2 months.
I mean, it's and that's where on the back end logistically, how easy or difficult would it be for them to be able to set up this month trial or whatever service.
Absolutely.
I'm not a developer. I'm not a web dev. I don't know how like banking and systems like this would work to set something like this up. Like, how difficult or simple would it be to be able to actually set it up towards like, oh, well, you already have 3 years of PlayStation Plus. Okay, well, and you only want to try it for a month. Well, then it's it's the how easy or difficult it is, but it's also maybe the level of, and again, maybe Sony just didn't think people actually backlogged or not backlogged, but pre-purchased their PlayStation Pluses that far.
No, they definitely
have
because,
those numbers. Like, they have those numbers.
And also,
Sony
has there has been advertisements of like, you know, like in the little like fine print, it says that your time stacks.
The bank I work for has the numbers of how many failed loans there are and why they're failed. Doesn't mean they actually know how many failed loans there are or why they're failed. They just have those numbers. Like, and this is, yes, that is a problem with PlayStation. It's a problem with the bank for not properly looking at the analytics and systems and such like that.
I mean, you're not wrong there. And it seems like from everything we kind of get out of PlayStation right now, it's not being run by like people that know what the fuck they're doing. Like, Jim Ryan is probably a very good like businessman in like a sense, but like has zero fucking clue what he's doing with the PlayStation brand. And it's like, I don't 100% disagree with you, Rich. I don't think it's completely out of the question for them to be like, oh yeah, no, you can only upgrade your existing subscription. But it just doesn't seem like any of that was really communicated ahead of time, that like you wouldn't be able to like do things kind of like to try it out essentially.
And it wasn't communicated ahead of time, but it also, it probably wasn't, like, that's not something I thought about. Like, it's probably not something a lot of people thought about until now when the services started becoming available.
I mean, you're not wrong, and like that's a problem with business. Like Drew said, Sony 100% knows that when and how many people are buying like re-ups on their subscriptions, because like they don't sell as many of those cards as they just have people going online and like buying them through different like online sales and stuff like that. Like, they know how much time people have on PlayStation Plus. They're just not fucking using that data, or they don't give a fuck. Like, it's entirely possible that recent years of Sony seems to not give a fuck about the consumer. And like most of their stuff. So like, who fucking knows? Like, I was listening to a thing a while ago, like, Sony TVs, like several years ago, were going to have like, I don't know, like Google Stadia or some, it wasn't Google's, but it was one of the like streaming game things that were like in development back then, built into them. And PlayStation was just like, whoa guys, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're the same company. Why would you put our competitor on the TVs? Like, everyone out there doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I saw that stuff and I thought it was wild that people, like, they're getting charged like hundreds of dollars right now by trying to upgrade. Even if they're just upgrading, like, even if they want to do like the full term, like, they're getting dinged with like, if any part of their subscription was on sale, they're paying even more. And I feel like that has to be like just a fucking error in the way that the thing's set up.
That definitely has to be an error, and if that is not corrected, that is definitely a potential class action lawsuit against them that they will probably lose.
I'm sure at some point, if they catch it, they won't even let it get that far. They will just start fucking refunding people.
Yeah. But like, go ahead, Drew.
Well, I was gonna say, for the upgrade though, like, they sell a monthly option. And quarterly options. There's no reason it should have to charge you for whatever entire subscription you have.
But they sell monthly and quarterly options to subscribe for the month or for the quarter in the full price. Like, it's more the idea of, like, at least to me, what the logistics of actually making sure that everything is set up properly to where if this person who has 10 years doesn't get 10 years for free because they only subscribe to a month, and make it's probably, again, something that they might not have thought of with people having 2, 3, 4 years set up, or the fact of maybe people not wanting to have this for more than just a month to try it out. Like,
yeah, but you know what? Like, I forgot that you could actually just go in there and buy like a month or like a quarter at a time. Like, it really should just be on the back end like a fucking little switch where it's like, you know, every account has like the checkboxes essentially for like stuff, and it should just be a checkbox. If you like, you should be able to go onto the website, buy a single month of like the premium plus, and have that applied to your account for 30 days. And when that 30 days runs out, it cancels just like any other service. Like, I can go on at any time and change my Netflix subscription, for instance, or my Hulu subscription. I can change it from no commercials to whatever. And even like with Game Pass, I can go Game Pass Ultimate where I get Xbox Live and PC Game Pass. I could go to just Xbox Game Pass, like just on the console, just on the PC, and it just, you know, it lets me jump back and forth between them. I get that, like, you pay for those monthly generally, and, you know, that's its own thing. But, like, I don't see why there shouldn't just be something on the back end that just says, I am paying however a month of premium costs. Just turn premium on for 30 days and then turn it the fuck off and leave everything else the same. Like,
right.
Like, the stuff, that stuff shouldn't be that hard to integrate. Like, I understand how, like, theoretically databases work. Like, it should just be fucking checkboxes in a database.
Yeah, like, theoretically, it shouldn't be too hard. But
Sony seems to make all that stuff more complicated than it needs to be.
Well, yeah, you look at the friggin' Sony interface in general. It's not that simple. It's not that like, fucking dashboard and shit on the PS5, although, and a slight improvement to the PS4, still is fucking garbage. It's shit.
I mean, it took them a decade to allow you to change your PSN name, with the stipulation of, like, you might lose all of your historical data because
exactly
we don't know what we did.
Yeah, it's just, and it might be the way that they track and manage their accounts and everything, and the way they track and manage people having saved up 2 to 3 to 4 to 10 years of PlayStation Plus. They might be a little bit more difficult than that. Or it might just currently be a clerical error that they were not prepared for in letting you just subscribe for a month, or subscribe on a month-to-month basis.
Yeah, and, like, you're right. Like I'm not saying that, like, Sony is out there to, like, get people. I'm just saying, like, it was a bad oversight if people are finding it because they're trying to upgrade. Yeah,
and I mean, this, like, I didn't even think this service was supposed to be out until, like, later this year.
It's like, I think it's like June or July over here, isn't it? Like, it's actually relatively soon.
I don't know. But, like, what's being rolled out might still be, like, beta shit that they're still figuring out and everything.
Actually, I think it actually went live, like it's supposed to be the full thing in Japan. Because they usually do that stuff early over there.
So it's certain areas of Asia was full launched on the 24th. Japan on June 2nd, North and South America June 13th, and then Europe June 23rd.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't actually even Japan that they launched in early.
No.
Oh,
but, like,
wow.
So the 24th, which is today. So literally today.
Yeah, and that's when the news... Well, I guess it could actually be yesterday.
Yeah, it would be yesterday.
So it would be yesterday.
Our time.
Or it would have been, like, really... Yeah, it would have been, at some point yesterday, really early today. Like, it literally just dropped. Give them... Like, I've said this to a lot of people about a lot of things when there's problems. Give them 2 weeks to fix it. If they don't fix it in 2 weeks, then you know what? Throw them through the fucking ringer and throw them down a ledge. Like, give them some time to fix it first. Like, let them know this is a problem, and then let's see what happens before we determine, or before we come to a settlement.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. That's why I said, like, this was not a, like, Sony's a fucking monster. It was just this is a really bad oversight, and it could potentially fuck some people who, like, go to upgrade and maybe, like, don't look at the cost before hitting purchase.
Like, that's a thing that you should have figured out before launching. Like, money stuff, like, that's super important.
I'll defend the fact that they probably didn't really know, or it's probably not something that came across in in the meetings of like if somebody only wants to try it out for like a 1-month trial when they have 10 months, like again, they may have the data, doesn't mean they look at it.
I mean, that's its own problem. But also, Rich, don't defend multi-billion-dollar companies that don't do shit for you.
Yeah.
I'm not defending them. I'm just saying.
No,
like,
you
literally just
yeah,
said.
you just said, I'll defend them on this. Like, you shouldn't have to defend a multi-billion-dollar company. You're better than that.
Did I say, I don't remember saying on, but like, I'm just like, there are like, yes, should they have this taken care of? Sure, 100%. But it's like I said, I didn't even think about people having, like me as a Joe Schmo, who I think I have maybe a full year subscription or whatever. I don't even know what I subscribe to with my PS fucking Plus. I have no idea what it is.
And so that's the thing. You shouldn't have to know. Like, you are not the person to think about that. Like, they are an international multi-billion-dollar company with engineers with tons of letters after their fucking name and businessmen with tons of degrees that, like, this should have been a thing that was on their, like, list of to-dos, and it should have been bug tested. And it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And, like, that's kind of a problem on its own. It's like, you're taking people's credit card information, but you have no fucking clue what's going to happen with it, essentially. Like, that's kind of what they're telling us, is that they didn't actually test any of these systems with, like, the different types of purchases that could happen. And that's bad. That's bad for a company that size. Like, your company not knowing what the fuck they're doing, totally believable with the way you talk about them.
But my company's a freaking huge company. Like,
is it Sony huge?
No, but it's I don't know how many employees across how many states, but we've got employees across the fucking country. Like, we've got a lot of people.
Sony has employees across the world, and thousands upon thousands of them.
Yeah.
Like, somebody should have realized this. Like, they have a lot of very smart people working there. Like, they make the fucking shit. Like, it's just wild that, like, something like that could happen. And just, like, it's probably a bug. It was probably a mistake, but, like, that's a weird mistake to have not, like, just made sure that all of the money stuff made sense.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, unless at least the second part is intentional. Like, unless it's like, you can't, you have to, and it very much could be. And
you're right there. Like, that could very much be a nobody thought about, like, that is such a like, it's a very, like, specific use case there. Like, it's definitely not the norm. So, like, absolutely, like, that could just be one of those that's like, why would anybody do that? Either they want it or they don't want it. Like, they don't want it for half the time. Like, they have it for this much time. They want the new thing for this much time. What else would they want?
Yeah. Like the problem I would have right now, and because, like I said, I don't know how much time is on my PS. Say my PS, I think it's usually March.
So probably just renewed?
February or March is when it renews, I think. I'm not sure. Like I said, I can't even remember the last time I saw the charge on my fucking bank account.
Are you sure you have PS Plus right now?
I do. I have the current games. I've been getting the games each month. But, like, let's say it updated 6 months ago. So December. Or let's go January 1st. Say it updated January 1st. And we get the service on the 13th of June. And I go to upgrade and try it out. And they're like, well, you have to match your subscription. If it charges me for a full year when I have to resub after 6 months, fuck you, I'm not doing it. Like, unless it charges me 2 separate times a year, once in January, once in fucking
Well, no, so
June.
I think it's just the difference to the subscription, and then your subscription continues to renew at, like, the same time. But no, you're right, though, because that would still be fucked. If you have 6 months and they're making you pay the full year rate. Yeah.
Because, and in what we were talking about, like, Hulu, I get charged separately on different days for Hulu and Disney Plus, even though I have the combined thing. My Hulu account was always a certain day, and my Disney was always another certain day. It doesn't come in on the same day, but it is the separate prices.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't have them bundled because I don't want ESPN.
As far as I can remember, I haven't bundled, but I get billed twice.
Weird.
Once for Hulu without commercials, and once for Disney Plus. But you add them up, they are the bundle price. Because I had Hulu And my renewal for Hulu was a different time than my renewal for Disney Plus.
Drew, you guys have the bundle, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you get charged all at the same time for it?
I have no idea. Sarah handles it, so I'd have to ask her.
Do you pay for no commercials?
No.
So Rich, I wonder if in your case, I'd be interested to find out if this is the case or not. The Hulu bundle does not default to have an option for no commercials. So I wonder if because you pay for the no commercials, it bills you separately. But like Drew and Sarah have just the base with commercials, if theirs gets billed together.
We'll see. I'm
Interesting.
pulling up my bank.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up my bank account now because I honestly might be totally wrong about this. It might have just been something that happened a few times and not anymore.
But while you're doing that, I think that's probably a show.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we announced it earlier. Our next book club is going to be Paddington 1 and 2 in 2 weeks on, I think I said that was June 9th.
Yes.
So that should be good. They are the two of the highest rated movies on Rotten Tomato. So that should be interesting. Let's call it interesting. But other than that, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcasting platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever, all those places. We're on all of them. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. They help a whole lot. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. Rich, are you doing, and next week is your anniversary stream, right?
Yes, next week is my anniversary stream on Wednesday. We'll be playing something. I haven't decided yet, but then on Saturday, the 4th, will be the start of my potential 24-hour sub.
All right, so people, you can watch that next week. But otherwise, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.